We always find money for shit like that. We find money, as Pete himself personally talked about, when it comes to offering tax cuts to the wealthy and corporations at a time when corporations are reporting record high profits. Okay, at a time when there's gross income inequality in this country.
David, welcome to the program.
Hello. Hi. I'm always glad to be back. Just a little surprised by the tenor of your show today, Sam.
Yeah.
A little surprised.
You mentioned that. Now, do you want to be more specific?
Well, 100 million people stay home on Election Day, right?
Right.
You know that? Yeah. And I'm not trying to be critical of you, but it's this lack of civility. They're not coming to vote.
Okay, that's a meme, right? This guy's not real. He's like a comedian, right? Okay, I don't want to watch it if it's a meme. If it's some guy like portraying themselves as like a cringe centrist Democrat, I don't want to see it. I already get enough of these dipshits.
Because of shows like yours where you team up on good people. I don't agree with Joe Biden. I'm like David Brooks. I'm a socialist from way back. Did you read David Brooks? Did you read David Brooks today? He used to be a socialist. And that means you have bona fides you should be listened to. And I'm an old lefty. Yeah. I'm an old lefty, Sam.
Yeah.
You know that.
I know that.
But you're not going to win.
I'm getting triggered. It's not real. That's what frustrates me. It's not real. But like, those people are real. The person he's presenting is actually real, and it annoys the shit out of me because I hear this all the goddamn time. The person he's portraying is so perfect right now, and is alive. It's just like it's a bit, but it's also my everyday existence.
On good people like Joe Biden, he's a good man. I have problems with him. In principle, I want Bernie. You know that.
Right. In principle. But are you suggesting there's a difference between your principle and your here he is, David Brooks. We have a picture of him up there as a social democrat back in the day.
Republicans can have him.
And what do you mean by in principle? What do you mean in principle?
In principle, we need to listen to the adults and have a civil conversation and not attack Joe Biden because sometimes he tells the truth and sometimes he doesn't. The Democrats, this is a party. We're a big tent, Sam. There should be room for facts and lies. And to go after, you don't win that way. There should be room for somebody who had no hair and then suddenly has hair. There should be room for a candidate who, when his teeth got brown, he, like Biden did, he sent his brown teeth off to prison because they were super predators, and he got them capped and made them nice and white because he didn't want brown super predator teeth. And there's room for everybody in our party. And you sit there, just sit there, and we're not going to win. We don't win this way. Like the way you treat. It was heartbreaking to see Kamala Harris have to walk away. She could have won. She could have won the nomination and beat Trump. But the Bernie, they destroyed her.
But wait, she could have won.
I still think she can win. Yeah, I still think she can win.
But how could...
I hate this so much. Okay, listen. This is like every interaction I have with like someone over the age of 45 on Twitter. Also, secondly, one thing that's really funny is like shallow liberal identity politics. The funny thing about like shallow liberalism or identity politics is the fact that like they put up Kamala Harris and then they don't understand why Kamala Harris. Thank you, Poopy Dickens. They put up Kamala Harris and then they're shocked why Kamala Harris is not appealing to black people. They put up Pete Buttigieg and then they're shocked why Pete Buttigieg is not appealing to young people. It's not a joke. I'm just saying, like, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's so stupid. All right, let's.
Could she win if there was no support for her?
There is support for her. Ask all my friends who know something, who know politics and policy. We know she could win. She could win the nomination. But she just couldn't take. She had it with the Bernie Bros.
So wait, so you're saying she just was just sick of it? She was sick of it and just was. So she walked away. It wasn't that other people walked away from her.
No, we lost a good candidate because the way Bernie treated her during the debates, with outperforming her, the way he outperformed her. That's not how you win alliances, by outperforming your opponents in debates. That's not how you bring the party together and hold them accountable for their policy on Medicare for all. She was for putting the insurance companies out of business, and then she's not. That's good. That's how you win in the general. We lost her. We lost her.
No, but what is your theory on how she can still win? That's what I'm curious about. Now that she's not a candidate.
Am I saying this with authority and a timbre in my voice?
Yeah.
She can win. Everybody knows that. See how loud? When I say this loudly and categorically?
Right.
How can you argue with this? It's a fact. The Democrats are centrists. Do you hear how loudly I'm saying this? That makes it a fact. And Kamala can win. But don't get me wrong. I love Bernie in principle. I'm an old lefty like David Brooks. I want all the things you want. But, the way you mock Mayor Pete.
Right.
Well, let me. It does not help. It doesn't help the party.
All right, David. Since you brought up Mayor Pete, and I want you.
I have to say that because Mayor Pete is an African American.
No, Mayor Pete is not an African American.
I sense you have that white privilege, and you don't see how important it is for young gay girls who are transitioning to see Mayor Pete and say, you know what? I can be our first African American president. You don't understand. You don't understand the importance of that.
Look, David, let's play a clip of.
You know what? I'm going to say something. I don't mean to play the Jew card with you, Sam.
Yeah.
But you don't know what it means to be afraid.
Well,
you have to.
I'm Jewish.
You don't know what fear means.
No,
that is how you appeal to the Democrats, by preying on their fears.
Now, wait a second.
You got to vote your fears.
Now, wait a second. How can you play the Jew card on me? I'm Jewish.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever known what it's like to be alienated and isolated. You don't understand identity politics. You mock it. That's why I know you want Bernie, and so do I. Believe me. I want everything Bernie wants. I just don't think we can get there right now.
When do you think we can get there?
I want everything he wants. I want everything he wants.
Okay.
Everything.
All right. Well, look. Yeah. Let me ask you about this clip, David Feldman. You've sit here. You have criticized us about.
And don't get me wrong. I have a lot of respect.
Okay.
For the work you're doing.
I appreciate that. But you've criticized.
I just think No, I'm not criticizing you. I think you need a bigger tent.
Okay. You're suggesting that we are too narrow in our perspective because we have been, attacking Mayor Pete. Here is a clip from Mayor Pete where he is once again using a right-wing frame. And frankly, not only using a right-wing frame, he is using the right-wing tactics of completely lying about the reality or just doesn't know it. Here is this.
Why should they be responsible for my death?
Is Myth in the chat? Pay attention to Myth. What's up, Myth? Hold on. Dude, Myth's a big Slicker fan, dude.
It's a great question.
Myth, do you ball, dude? I hit you up on Twitter to see if you play basketball. We're always looking for additional people to ball with.
Climate fiscal policy can be a question of intergenerational justice. And
or we can live
my
too.
party's not known for worrying about deficits and the debt too much, but it's time for us to start getting.
You were asking earlier how to get big, dude. All right. I mean, this is done already. I finished it pretty much, but this was 2 pounds of straight white chicken breast that I marinated earlier today, and then I cooked it before I started the stream, and then now I'm consuming it. 2 pounds of straight white chicken breast is the one meal I have every day with some honey mustard. I also had some Trader Joe's pita. It sucks. And some pickles. That's how you get beefed up. What's in the marinade? It's too long to explain. Just one meal a day.
Into that business. Because what we've seen in Washington is that the party that talked a lot about the deficit when they were trying to off programs, when it came time for this corporate tax cut, turns out they don't care. There is $1 trillion deficit now, and created under a Republican administration, which means if my party doesn't start getting interested in deficits of that, nobody will. And I view it the same way you do, as a generational question, because I think we may not have to wait for kids and grandkids to see when those fiscal time bombs start to go off.
Oh.
Imagine being 36 years old or however old this is, and like unironically running on a platform of being a deficit hawk while simultaneously talking about how deficit hawks are liars. Like, he literally just openly admitted no one gives a fuck about the deficit. Like, how out of touch can you be? I mean, I guess he's just like appealing to the old dipshit in the fan base, right? That's what it is. Like, this guy. This is the guy who's like, oh, I really do care about the deficit. Those tax cuts were sure good, though.
Okay.
Like,
now, David, I know that you think that we're...
Hang on. The tingle down my thigh is subsiding. That was amazing. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Wow.
So you were really...
Didn't he just say that we need to start caring about the deficit? Yeah, dude. That is a moronic position to run on. That's my point, okay? Nobody, and I mean nobody, actually uncritically and unironically cares about the deficit, okay? We find money to engage in $6 trillion wars that are ongoing still. The war on terror in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in numerous other countries. We always find money for shit like that. We find money, as Pete himself personally talked about, when it comes to offering tax cuts to the wealthy and corporations at a time when corporations are reporting record high profits. Okay, at a time when there's gross income inequality in this country. No one cares. And Pete is being a dumbass and cucking himself by running on that as though that's like a viable platform to run on.
How is it possible that the youngest guy running is the adult in the room?
Well,
how is that possible?
The reality is...
Oh, God.
The reality is that if you compare every president that we've had in modern times.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing. We also increased the defense budget, so that was pretty tight, too. That keeps getting larger and larger as well. No money for roads, no money for public housing, no money for healthcare. All the money goes to the military. All the money goes to, like, not even like the military in the sense that, like, we're helping veterans either. Military projects that are being sold off to third-party private enterprise, Lockheed and Martin, whatever, Boeing, like these defense contractors getting these inflated ass defense budgets. I know, anyway, I can't talk about that too much, but wrong, you forgot about Infrastructure Week. Raise the budget for Space Force to get parental leave, peak liberalism, fucking end me. Oh yeah, speaking of which, yeah, we did raise the budget to get, for Space Force to get parental week for federal employees. Which is good. That's a good thing. But that's not exactly a big gain, okay? In the realm of politics. He basically says the right lies and says the debt is a time bomb and then does nothing about it. But then now are we supposed to believe that it's a time bomb and do something about it? Yeah, exactly. That's my point. I'm frustrated.
You will find that the debt skyrockets under Republicans and then drops under Democrats. Unless like the inciting event happens the day before Barack Obama comes into office, and that grows, and then it starts to come down until the Republicans come to town. I mean, so here he is, putting aside the fact that he's just reciting Pete Peterson's mantra, the Nixon Commerce Secretary, billionaire who went on to basically wants to cut Social Security and Medicare by creating this sort of debt hysteria. He also talks about these ticking time bombs, which he must be talking about, I guess, Medicare and Social Security, because that is consistent with the right-wing talking points. And the fact that the reality, if you did care about something like that, is that his party has been far better on that accord than the Republicans, to the extent that, and I don't necessarily subscribe to the idea that it's even relevant, but everything he's saying is a load of I'm sorry, is a lie.
Malarkey.
Oh my God. I mean, this is why 100 million people stay home on election day. First of all, it's refreshing and different to hear a Democrat for the first time talk.
Yes, this is a meme conversation between people like myself and people like Sam having an argument with a fake person. David Feldman's a comedian, I think, and he's like portraying himself as a centrist liberal. But it's triggering me because he is like, this is it. This is very real. There are a ton of people that genuinely feel this way. A ton of people that genuinely talk this way. Keep explaining the joke, bro. Well, there are people who don't get that it's a joke. Okay, I'm sorry that you're such a. You know what? Fuck off. Here's a 5-minute break for you. Okay, Dakai, go right off. Come back in 5 minutes. Like frustrating as. Oh man. Oh, I'm such an intellectual five-head dude. I got the joke. Other people did not. So you suck. Oh.
Talking about fiscal responsibility. This is the first time I've ever heard the big spending party. This is new, something new, and you need to get used to that. Now, here's the other thing I don't mean to.
Didn't Bill Clinton run on that exact same thing? We're going to make government meaner and leaner.
Thank you, Smogview.
I don't want to split the party and attack the Clintons. This is not, we need the Clintons, so I'm not going to do that. This is typical Bernie, bro. This is your problem, and I don't mean to attack you personally, because this is not what I do, but I sense your white privilege. I do. And I'll tell you why. The Republicans, historically, as you just pointed out, they balloon the debt and the deficit. They go on a spending spree. They cut taxes for the wealthy, and they create a mess. And who steps in and cleans up the mess traditionally? The Democrats. And you, perched in your ivory tower, think you're too good to clean up after people. Well, I've got news for you. If you want to appeal to the 99%, a lot of those people make money cleaning up. These are janitors and maids and housekeepers, and you're an elitist. You're saying we're too good to clean up the mess that the Republicans left us. That's not how you win in November, Sam. I'm sorry. You're mocking people who clean up messes for a living. But I want to vote for the president who appeals to the guys and gals, the folks, who when they come home from work have to take a shower.
I'm triggered because this is like, someone said, this reminds me of Steven's conversations with Hasan. Yeah. Like, it's just like there are so many people who legitimately feel this way. Like, there are so many people who like actually argue this way. So stupid.
That's who I respect. You take a shower when you come home from work? I do.
Devil. I don't doubt that. So you're saying I'm part of? You're saying I'm part of the type of workers who shower before I go to work instead of after I go to work.
No, I'm saying you don't shower enough is what I'm saying. I'm saying Bernie supporters need to shower more. And I know we're going to wrap it up because I'm winning the argument. I'm winning this argument once again.
Well, I didn't think of it as an argument. I thought we were engaging in a conversation.
No, I win. See, that's the thing with you people. You don't know how to win. We can't. A conversation, you got to win.
Right. Okay. So go ahead.
We're coming up on today, actually, the Japanese. We're coming up on, I think it's the 30th anniversary of the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. And, you know, I'm an old lefty from way back, right? You know that, right? Roosevelt, Democrat.
I voted for I voted for and advocated for Bernie Sanders in 2016. Remember that.
Okay. And he went before the American people on television the day after the Koreans, the Japanese attacked us, and Franklin Roosevelt said yesterday, December 6th, a day that will live in infamy. And what did he say? He says, we're going to go to war with the Japanese. I have a plan, and I know how to pay for it. That was the genius of Teddy Roosevelt. He said, I mean, go back and watch Franklin Roosevelt's speech. Total focus. He says, we're going to fight the Nazis, the Japan. We're leaning in, because that's important to lean in, because we know our worth. And we're saying, you cannot attack us. And then he said to the American people, join me on this rendezvous with destiny, but you have a choice. You have a choice. I'm presenting to you in this speech a public option to fight the Nazis. You can choose to stay home and fight the Nazis in the private sector. And you know what? Because, and this is what you don't understand about Elizabeth Warren, what Roosevelt did is he presented the American people with a choice. They could choose the public option and fight with our army, or they can stay home and fight the Nazis, you know, in the private sector by, you know, no longer investing in Harriman Brothers and, you know, Ford and Coca-Cola and IBM. The people who were doing business with the Nazis. You could, you know, that's one way to fight the Nazis.
Right.
But when we saw how well the war was going, I know your father may be too young, but a lot of Americans opted in for the public option and said, you know what, I'm going to go. I'm going to go fight the Nazis.
Right?
I'm sorry?
2 years. Well, first there was Roosevelt said there's a public option, and then in no later than 2 years into my next term, I will present the second phase of the war option.
Yes. Is this Michael Brooks?
Yes. I'm helping you out.
I'm surprised you know something that happened before 1996. And do you know why? Let me ask you a question, because I don't always like your politics. I think you're a little brazen. Do you know why D-Day was so successful?
David, you're going to have to educate me.
Because Winston Churchill and Eisenhower, before they stormed the beaches, they told the boys, we have a plan to pay for this. We know how to pay for this. You don't send... our father...
Chad seems so uncomfortable. What the f*** is funny? Motherfucking Chad, vigorous, dude.
Fathers, or your grandfather, when they stormed the beaches of Anzio, if they weren't certain that all this was going to be paid for, they didn't want to leave you, their grandchildren, with intergenerational debt that Mayor Pete. I mean, I got to say... I love Bernie. I do. I'm an old lefty from way back, but I got to say.
An old lefty from way back.
I got to say. I got to say,
Yeah.
All right, said his name. His name is Chad. Okay, I'm done with this. Warren supporters are worse than Tulsi, constantly changing the goalpost. Did you already show us what your shirt is? It's Outcast, dude. What do you mean? It's the old Outcast shirt.